The organizer is present.
Welcome to the conference.
Russ, we have a question from Brian. And Brian would like to know, do you have any rules about reducing your position size after a certain period of time if no targets have been achieved? Any rules about reducing your position size after a certain period of time if no targets have been achieved?
No, I assume he's talking about on a specific trade for one day, but I like to use the same amount, same dollar amount every day when I trade. Don't increase it thinking I'm going to get lucky or decrease it thinking I'm going to get unlucky. And the technique that Manny uses where he gets out of half of his trade when he makes a profit, locks in that profit, and then goes for additional profit with the second half, I find to be very effective. It prevents a lot of losing days, locks in at least you have some fair winning days mixed in with some really good winning days. And I like that technique very much.
Okay. For those of you who just joined us, this is the first hour trading webinar called Coffee with Russ. Russ is answering your questions, and you can ask them via your PC. Just type them on in. And we have a question, what do you consider your most important rules, Russ?
I think my most important rule is don't try to beat Manny. If he says to get out, get out. Don't hang in there, because he is really very good at picking support and resistance levels, and when they break those, they often do very badly. I just find that if he says get out, it doesn't matter where the price is. Don't look for a little more profit or a little smaller loss, because it's going to become a very unhappy day for you.
Here's another question, Russ. Do you look at the daily pivot points at all? They appear to have had significance this week, according to one of our attendees. Do you look at the daily pivot points?
No, I really don't look at them. The pivot points, I assume you're talking about on the overall market, and the type of trades that we do in this day trading are not really much influenced by the overall market, although we like to have the market in our direction. Today, the market was pretty flat, so we could have gone long or short. I actually had one trade that I almost posted, but it was a little bit too risky. It would have made some money. I posted a couple of proposed trades this week, and people did make money on each of them. But for the most part, I just try to follow Manny.
We're about halfway through this morning's webinar. We're accepting your questions. Just type them in, and we'll pass them on to Russ. A reminder that at the end of the webinar this morning, Manny has a special offer for those of you who are monthly subscribers, and a very special addition for the first person who signs up for an annual subscription. And I just learned about it a little while ago, did a little research, and it was, frankly, something I'm not familiar with, but that makes sense because I'm not a financial guy. It's about exchange trade funds, and it's a $2,000 value. And that's going to go out to the first person who upgrades their subscription at the end of our webinar this morning. So that's something to look forward to, I think. Maybe we should ask a poll at this point, and this kind of ties back as to when the question about what kind of hardware you use. I wonder what kind of hardware our audience uses. So the question for you, attendees, is how many monitors do you use? You have just 1, 2, 3, or you're like NBC and you have 15 of them up there. Do you have 4 or more? If you would answer the poll question on your screen by clicking your section, your selection, and the question is how many monitors do you use? Right now, 2 monitors is in the lead with 60%, followed by 50%. Well, they're both about equal now, between 1 and 2 monitors. I'll give you about another 10 seconds to answer this easy question. And I'm closing the poll. And you can see the results on your screen. The majority of you are using 2 monitors. No one is using more than 2, and 57% are using 2, 43% are using 1 monitor. On to the next question for Russ. Manny uses 2 targets. How about you?
I like the 2-target system of Manny's. I have experimented with following Manny and just ignoring his first target and going for the second one so that I can make a bigger profit. But I find that too often I have losing days that way because his second target is a rather ambitious one, and it's the one that you'll achieve on a good day, but you won't achieve it every day.
Mm-hmm.
I have traded with 4 monitors myself. I use 2 now, and I think 2 is very adequate. And I can trade with 1, but I prefer 2.
Here's a question from Al, Russ, and the question is this. This has probably been asked before, says Al, but could you elaborate on the price action entry trigger? What exactly do you look for to decide when to enter the trade? Elaborate on the price action entry trigger, please.
I really look for the same thing that Manny's looking at. On occasions, I actually give slightly better entry price than he does. Pretty much I try to follow him, but what Manny is looking for, if he's looking to trade long, for instance, he looks for the stock to drop a little bit, and then when it starts to go long, pretty sure that's the way he does it. That's what I've been doing. But you want to wait till it reverses and gets going in the right direction.